Yes, yes.
But we actually more graceful.
Yep.
But
Hello, Marvel Moms. Welcome to another episode. This is part 2 of our series on how we both overcame specific challenges together. And on this particular episode, we're just going to share a little bit about our lives, experiences, and what we have gone through. So we're going to talk about what exactly it is that brought us together, and how we overcame that, like things that we did during that time when we were in the fire of the situation. Like, what did we do that helped us to kind of, go into the situation and actually start digging our way through it, even when things were a bit tough and difficult. So if you didn't know, please go to episode 1 and watch how we met, because yes, you will get a lot of insight into how we met and who my lovely co-host is today. She is Christine, my life partner, and we've gone through quite a lot together.
partner in crime.
Partner in crime, yes. And it's been challenging, Chris. We've come a long way, a long way.
4 years actually seems like 1,000 years, isn't it?
Yeah, for what we've gone through.
What we've been through.
Yes,
it feels
yes.
Quite some. Yes, it seems like 1,000 years, considering what we've been through, within that 4 years. But, thank God to be here, still alive and kicking, and keeping our hopes alive.
Yes.
And what can we say? It hasn't been easy, especially with my experience, So far as I am concerned, I was, married to, a wonderful man that I was so prepared to spend the rest of my life with, through thick and thin. And, I was so uptight with those words that, the vows that we did exchange, the for better, for worse thing. I really, really was into it, that I wasn't going to just let anything come between us. But you know what? We do have our plans, but I do believe that God also have his own plans towards each and every one of us. And so, even though I wanted, forever and ever, I wanted a better ending, a happy ending, they say. But unfortunately, things didn't work out the way I expected it to be, We went from being up here down the bottom to the point that, we became like an enemy, which unfortunately, that is the truth, but it's very, very sad. I was confused. I was depressed. I didn't know what to do. Especially, I didn't want the marriage to end.
No.
I wanted to keep my home intact. People who do really knows me very well will attest to this, that before I even got married, I always said to my friends that I'm one person that I don't like the word divorce.
Yeah.
It scares me.
Oh.
I come from a family where I grew up with both my biological parents, and I always said to my girls that if I cannot give them anything better in life, I'd rather give them the opportunity, to grow with both parents. As a child, knowing very well that you come home to meet your parent, so far as I'm concerned, it's one of the best feelings ever. Either they are rich or poor, which other way, it's good to have both parents, around. But unfortunately, that is not what happened in my case. I found myself in a situation whereby I have to choose, to be alone. And as I used to tell you, upon all the qualifications, all the entitlement that, I wanted to acquire in my name, being a single mother wasn't one of the titles. I never anticipated for it. Never.
Nobody
Never,
goes into a relationship. No, nobody goes into a relationship with the idea that tomorrow I'm going to wake up and it's over.
And it's over, especially having children.
Exactly.
Your body has changed and all that. Like, it was one of the most disturbing, I must say, experience ever.
I don't wish that on anybody.
I don't know how we managed to get here.
I don't know how I'm here.
In one piece.
Yes, because there's been some people who go through this and they come out with a lot of trauma. They are never the same. So for me, 4 years ago, I had my son, and I was going through postnatal depression. I know a lot of people out there who actually are going through it, but they don't know how to define it and what to call it. And I come from a community where it's frowned upon to even mention mental health. So because of that, I was losing who I was every day. I was confused. I was unhappy. I was very lonely. Very lonely. The key word is I was very lonely. Again, I was also married in a relationship. I was hoping that the two of us would be for life. I planned my life so that everything around us, I would make life easy for him in every way that I could possibly do. And I was taking on some of the jobs where it was supposed to be a man's job, basically. So because I wanted him to feel at ease. And also, like I said, I was going through a lot mentally, and I was trying to find myself, reconnect to myself. I had gained so much weight after childbirth because my children were all via C-section. So that also had an effect on my body, on me as a person, and it disconnected me from my children. So I was dealing with a lot. But you know, the community we come from, Chris, doesn't teach these men how to relate to us as women. When you are married to a woman who gives birth to children for you, you're supposed to take care of them. Yes, even I'm a very strong woman, and I think that's what we are. We are very strong women.
We wouldn't be here.
No, we stood up for we stood up for what we believed in, and my values never changed. What changed about me was the fact I started compromising in the wrong way. I started losing myself because I wanted him to feel like I was there for him. When on the other hand, I needed him to give me more. I was inputting a lot of myself into this person, thinking that they were going to be there for me forever, only to discover that, well, I have given everything that I could, but there was nothing coming from him to me. So I lost everything. And that is where the loneliness came in. I felt like a prisoner in my own home. I was not very happy. I was living in fear. I was unsure about the future with him, where we couldn't make future plans together. Like, you bring a plan in, oh, let's do this, and then it's like something else. When we are talking about the basic things, he is on a different mindset. We couldn't agree on anything together.
And you know, that is one of the major problems that I know most of our friends, you know, out there, most of the ladies that I have the privilege to talk to go through. You know, one of the worst feeling in the world is being married and feeling lonely.
Oh my God, it is the worst. Not
always having that balance.
No.
You know, not being able to discuss issues with your partner, your husband, you know, and coming into the same conclusion, you know, it's very, very, very painful. And as a woman, from my experience and from most of the people that I've had the privilege to talk to, they would say, women try, we give in everything. We try to be a mother, a wife, a friend, an advisor, everything at the same time, forgetting that we also need help.
Yes.
So you will give and give and give and give, and then what will become of you? You become empty.
Yes.
And you can never pour from an empty cup.
No.
It has never happened.
And empty, and like they say, empty barrels make the most noise. So we're making, because you get to a point where you are so empty.
You are exhausted.
And you are fed up. You are tired. You just need to recharge. And I pray that whoever's listening to this Okay, if you're a man married to a woman and you are still married, please go to your wife, ask her the simple question: what can I do to make your life easy? Because sometimes all she wants is a simple hug.
Yeah.
You've come back from work, you see her at home, she's sitting there, and she's done 2,000 tasks before you walked in. Those 2,000 tasks, you coming home to see her with just one tissue paper on the floor doesn't mean that she hasn't done that job. It's just you walked in to that one tissue paper on the floor. So don't criticize her for that. But what you need to do is to just pick it up, put it in the bin. Try and bring peace to her because she's already going through a lot. Childbirth changes a woman. I'm telling you, I was a size 8, believe it or not. Okay, now I'm a size, add 10 to it.
I remember my daughter saw my picture, which I took when I was, before I gave birth to them. And then she asked me, Mommy, is it really you? And I'm like, yes, girl, I used to be hot. Yes. And she goes, then what happens to you then?
I had kids.
And I said, you too. You happens to me. You made me like this.
Yeah. And I'm so happy that we can talk about this because there's been times when women have been shamed for being this size. Women have been shamed for giving birth and not losing the weight in 2 months. It doesn't come that easy. There are some women who don't have that support. They don't have anybody they can leave the child with to go and just say, I'm going for exercise. I'm going to run around for an hour. And no, it takes a lot. So if you're in a partnership and you're in a marriage, whatever you are in, don't just think of you. And align yourself to the visions and the dreams of your family,
of each other.
Don't just think it's just about you. Don't go ahead and run ahead without the other person, because remember, she's your helpmate. We were supposed to be helpmates.
We're supposed to be in the same level.
Yes.
What was the word? Chasing the same goal, having the same visions.
Yes.
Planning together. If I lose, you lose. If you win, we win.
Yes,
that's how it's supposed to be. And people have to understand that marriage is actually a commitment. It's a long-term commitment that you have to sometimes give up, give in, compromise, and a whole lot to make it work.
And that's what we did. And before we made the decision to before life actually threw us that decision that it's time for us to pack up and go, we made options. We thought of all the options. I remember there was a time where I actually had to sit down, put pen to paper and think about it. Me going, what's going to happen to the children? How much am I going to how am I going to survive financially? How am I going to do this? What's going to happen if this happens? How am I going to answer to these people? And then I had other people's expectations weighing down on me. I had family members weighing down on me. I was scared to the wits because I thought, oh my God. But you know what? Sometimes when God has said it's time for you to go, because he wants you to learn a lesson through that process, you can't force it. And most of the times people who disobey and they keep staying in that particular situation, which is not good for them, they find that they lose who they are completely. And that's when you hear bad news like, oh, that person passed away. This happened to this person. That person did, because they didn't listen to what God was telling them. And I'm glad that we did, because here we are on this platform sharing our views.
Our experience. And one thing I've realized is, the community that we come from doesn't give support.
Oh, I'm telling you.
They don't give support in so many ways. For instance, our mental health. One thing I've learned is, our mental health can never be measured.
No.
The level of our sanity can never be measured in which other way you want to put it. It can never be measured. Unless the person actually hit the rock bottom, that is when you will notice that, oh, okay, so this is what she or he was going through.
Exactly.
And so people should learn to listen. Partners, learn to listen.
When she's telling you,
when
I'm tired.
When your husband is trying to tell you something, take time and listen. That is where the whole issue comes from, lack of communication and attention. You know, give people your time, not just people, your partner.
Because out of the 6.2 billion people on this planet, remember, you chose each other. So don't let each other down by giving up on each other. And what is so difficult is that when you are in a relationship with somebody and you're trying so hard to give them every bit of yourself, and they have withdrawn from you emotionally, but they are refusing to let you know that they've withdrawn. And all you're doing is waiting.
Trying all what you can, because you don't really know what you are dealing with.
Exactly.
And so you are pushing yourself, you know, beyond the limit that you yourself can take. You are trying everything you can to put everything together. Meanwhile, the question is, what are you trying to do? You know, if you know what the problem is, then it's easy to find a solution to it. But this is a situation that you find yourself in. You don't know either he is upset because of you. You don't know either he's not talking to you because there's something that you did wrong. There's no communication. There's no explanation. You know, and as a woman, it makes you frustrated, confused, you know, angry at the same time. Why? Because this is your home. You know, this is your family. Whenever a marriage breaks down, whenever there's a separation, our community, people are so easy to judge from their own point of view without going through exactly what is going on in this particular home, what is going on with these two people. Take their jobs into consideration. You know, what did they do? You know, some jobs are very, very stressful. That you will come home, you don't even feel like talking to your own children. You know, juggling work and marriage, you know, and parenthood is so difficult. It's not easy. You know, back home in Ghana, you have your family around you. You can easily leave your children with your mom. You can leave them with your neighbors, your aunties. Everyone is there to help out. Here we find ourselves in the Western world that it's you and your partner and the children involved. And it's so difficult to juggle all these things, to bring everything together. It's not easy, you know. But then if there is understanding between the two partners involved, then at least, you know, you'll be able to cope and bring things, you know, together, make things less stressful for each other. But unfortunately, that is not the case. You know, one is on a different path. The other way
is going completely a different path. Oh dear.
Know, how can, you know, there's a saying, is it in the Bible? It said the house that itself is divided can never stand.
No.
You know,
it would never
stand. Supposed to be two people is involved in marriage. And so these two people will have to be, you know, have the same dreams, have the same goals, and work towards it together. So then when it fails, whatever plan that you people, the two of you sat down and planned, if it did not go as planned, no one is to be blamed.
No.
We made that decision and it didn't work out. So, okay, we find another solution then. But then here, you know, you find yourself in a marriage or in a relationship and then you are not sure. And you know, women, when you don't feel protected by your man, when you don't feel safe with your man,
when you're not secure,
when you are not secure,
that's the key. You're not secure in him and the fact that he can provide for you emotionally. Men, it's not about physical, you going out there and buying cars and no. It's about you emotional support. Because remember, this lady is giving you everything she's got. So the least you can do is be there. It's not about, of course, when it comes to intimacy, any woman can switch on in 2 minutes. All you have to do is touch her in the right way. But if you're not emotionally supporting her, know that even if you're having intimacy with her, it will feel like she is only but a prostitute to you. and you're not paying her, it's a free porn. I'm sorry to be honest and to be real.
Oh, yeah.
It's about time we get this information out there for people to change. It's too much for too much for young women, beautiful, talented, hard-working women who go into relationships, beautiful, outstanding, full of character and charisma, and 2, 3 months, 6 months, a year down the line, they are changed. They've lost themselves.
You must change to keep your home.
Like,
that is what the society
expects of you.
You change from who you are
into
something else that you are not.
And then they give you advice like it's a woman who marries.
Yes,
so a woman needs to do. What do you mean? What do you mean? It takes two equal partners to give birth. And it takes two equal partners to stand and say, for better, for worse. So when we were having the better, enjoy it with me. When the worst, when you see me in my worst and I'm looking like something you don't admire, don't look at the person or the woman with disgust. Who are you? Remember, I've turned this way because of the situation we have come through. You can't even endure with me when I look like this. How can you endure with me when life throws me illnesses? And I age ungracefully, and I'm looking like so. Exactly. How can you be there for me? How can I trust that you'll be there for me when my face suddenly drops and I'm like,
because just having children and your boobs are sagging,
I'm telling you,
marks, big stomach and all that. Which yes, I do know. Some people will say, we just use that just to put on weight. Come on. Yes,
what do you mean?
No, the issue here is, yes, we can go to the gym and lose the weight.
Yes.
But then, can you please be there? Look after the children, since I cannot take the children with me to the gym.
You're worth it, you're perfect, deserve it, just work it. 넌 quitti 나 quitti 또 pretty 야 pretty 빛이 나 빛이 넌 silly